Before today's video, it might be a good idea for you to jump in my free Discord server. It's a great place to build and share your crypto knowledge and connect with like-minded, ambitious individuals. It's for people of all experiences, whether you're a crypto newbie or a seasoned professional. So jump in and network with me and an ever-growing community of intellectuals. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So we can see here that the markets are recovering a little bit after the recent capitulation. This could be due to a number of reasons, but first I wanted to point out that if we cast our minds back to when the US Bitcoin ETF went live in January, we can see that the markets actually went on a little bit of a down period here before obviously shooting up to new all-time highs. Now the Hong Kong ETF for Bitcoin went live, I believe last week, within the last 10 days. And we can see that the market obviously, again, went on a little bit of a down period and is recovering since. So we could be seeing, us shooting off back to 70k plus, but yeah, just an interesting pattern I noticed and one to keep in mind. So we also had the non-farm payrolls and unemployment data come out from the US, which is weaker than usual. This is weak for the US dollar, however, it is strong for Bitcoin, hence the mini pump we saw in the last few days. Now, this also implies that the government could cut interest rates sooner in order to kickstart their economy, which is obviously overall bullish for Bitcoin and everything in general. So potential upcoming catalysts for the crypto markets includes the Ethereum ETF. I believe a decision will be made on this towards the end of May. Now, I don't expect this to get approved in May. We can see here Michael Saylor believes the SEC will classify Ethereum as a security, therefore denying them the ETF. However, even if it does get rejected now, I wouldn't worry too much about it, as I can genuinely see this getting approved in the near future, either towards the end of this year or going into 2025, which could bring a whole new meaning to what alt season is in crypto. So today's video is kind of an annoying one to make, as the markets are so choppy and altcoins are literally going up, going down so fast. I've had to change a couple times the coins that I wanted to include in today's video, as I don't really want to give you guys coins that are pumping or aren't at good buy prices at the moment. This is a portfolio video meant for everyone, but can be especially useful to those still on the sidelines, which could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe you're waiting for a substantial dip, maybe you didn't have the capital prior to today, and maybe you just didn't know which projects to get into. Now, the coins I'm going to be mentioning today should be able to provide a 10x overall on your capital if everything goes to plan and we get the huge alt season that we are anticipating. 100x is going to be very, very hard from this point on your portfolio, as a lot of solid coins are already up a lot. You can risk it and go all in on one project if you want, but that's ultra risky and I don't really recommend it unless you don't have a lot of capital. There will be many individual coins which will be 100xing over the next 12 to 18 months. However, for your overall portfolio to do so, you have to just be extremely lucky, in my opinion, from this point forwards. I've also covered some solid fundamentals on portfolio building for various capital levels and the psychology behind it in these two videos already, so if you're interested, feel free to take a look. Another caveat that I wanted to throw in there is the coins that I'm mentioning today, I don't personally hold all of them. They are coins that I have mentioned on the channel already, so if you want a full opinion on them, including proper analysis, price predictions, all of that stuff, feel free to check that out as well. So I wanted to meet a few criteria on today's portfolio, because portfolio building is incredibly ambiguous, infinitely customizable, and there isn't really a one-size-fits-all solution. It should always be tailored to the individual client, something which I'm conditioned to, having picked it up from being a qualified financial planner in my day job. So for the purpose of today's selection, I wanted it to be risky, providing plenty of upside potential, yet not being full degen and risking all your capital going to zero. Almost like a invest and forget about it type thing. For this reason, I'm excluding certain narratives like memes. If you've been around, you know I hate them anyway. And also micro caps, anything under, which I classify as anything under $10 million in market cap, unless it's fundamentally sound. So obviously there will be exceptions to the rule, but this is kind of like a rule of thumb. I wanted to stick to what I believe will be the strongest of narratives which will run this cycle and in the future. Now there will be many that pump, and I'm a fan of many as well, but in my opinion there will be 3 clear winners over the next 12 to 18 months and beyond, which we'll go through in just a second. Now obviously it goes without saying, but this ain't financial advice. Do your own research. I'm just a guy trying to help people out and spread some knowledge and perspective. So for the first project in the portfolio, for a chunk of 20%, we're going to go with a high cap project in bittensor. I want a blue chip in this project as a sort of hedge in the portfolio to reduce potential fluctuations in value while simultaneously providing significant upside. With clients in my day job, we use fixed interest securities as this, or bonds, to lower risk in investments so the portfolio doesn't swing too much either way. And the same principle can be applied here in crypto. if it can even be a thing. You know, obviously crypto is incredibly volatile, but in order to reduce potential fluctuations, you'd expect to include the higher cap projects in your portfolio. There are a few coins in the top 100 that I think will do very well, which I've already mentioned on this channel, but Tau for me can still run well into this cycle and beyond. It's AI infrastructure with excellent tokenomics, completely fair launch, and recently got listed on Binance, you know, a tier 1 exchange and probably one of the most popular exchanges in the world. We can see here it's down over 40% from its all-time high, so it's at a great buy price here on $447. In terms of a quick price prediction for Tau, I can see this going well into the thousands of dollars per bittensor in this cycle, potentially going between 5 to 10k. If we look on the 7-day chart for bittensor, we can see that whilst it did dip quite a bit, as most of the alts were doing so, its recovery has been absolutely exceptional, going all the way down from $350 to now $450 in the space of a few days. So it's a very, very, very strong coin, one of my favorites for this upcoming cycle, and hopefully it can be the hedge in our portfolio while still potentially giving us that 10x, getting to, you know, $4,000 or $5,000. If you do buy Tau, be sure to stake it, as the rewards are also decent right now, around 20% paid out daily in Tau, so also some nice passive income there. The next 40% of the portfolio I want to allocate to mid-caps. This is more risky, but obviously we expect more reward here. I decided to go with the double act of Qubic and Trias. Now these are fundamentally very, very strong projects. So Qubic is at a much earlier stage than Trias, and at this price it's very, very nice. I actually planned this video when it was under $5,000 per billion. If you're unaware, this 5829, rather than list out all the zeros, we just say this number per billion. So I planned it when it was under 5k per billion, but obviously since then it's pumped. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like a 15-20% increase, which, you know, in the long run is absolutely nothing. Price prediction is pretty hard for Qubic because of the burn mechanisms it has. But in terms of market cap, this could easily go into the tens of billions, pushing into the top 10 or even top 5 in the future. So, you know, currently sitting at $500 million to $500 million in market cap, we are so early on this one. Over the last 7 days, we can see again a very strong recovery. It went down to around $4,000 per billion. And then we can see a massive, massive pump here. And that's because there's been rumors that it's going to get listed on Gate.io, which is a tier 2 exchange. Currently, we can see that it's only on Safe Trade and Trade Ogre, which is a massive reason why people are not really buying it. Understandable, because these exchanges might not be the most credible, but you know, this is where the millionaires make their money, if they take the risks that others aren't willing to take. Also forgot to mention that Qubic is currently over 50% down from its all-time high, so a very, very strong buying point. You can see the chart here. Wow, so you know, a quick 2x just for it to simply reclaim its previous all-time high. Don't think I mentioned what Qubic actually is, so because I mentioned it so many times on this channel already, but it's a layer 1 crypto project with an AI focus. It's built by the same guy that built IOTA. It's the ex-founder of IOTA as well. It has, you know, standout features like a 40 million transaction per second speed, which is absolutely crazy. And it's not your typical POW or POS. It's a proof of useful work mechanism. Very, very good, very energy efficient, quorum based as well. Uses RAM. Like this, I could talk about this for ages. There's a detailed video on my channel, feel free to check that one out. So this is the first mid cap we're going to be including, and the second one is Trias. So Trias right now is at a price of $9, giving it a market cap of around 90 million, because its tokenomics are just simply excellent. It's got 10 million max in total, with about 98% of that in circulation right now. So under $10 for Trias is an absolutely fantastic price. This, in my opinion, is a triple digit coin, possibly even more in the future. So it's a layer 0 or layer -1, so it sits beneath other layer 1 projects, and it's ticking AI and possibly even real world asset narratives in the future. So they have a partnership with China to cover their entire supply chain industry, which is just, you know, amazing. Obviously there's regulatory risks here, with the element of how decentralized is Trias really? Could it be a government scheme? But, you know, with a partnership like that, it's almost guaranteed to succeed. Already mentioned the tokenomics being absolutely excellent, you know, 10 million max supply, with it potentially being deflationary in the future too. So again, price predictions at $100 for Trias, this would put it at only $1 billion in market cap. So yeah, a great, excellent inclusion in the portfolio. So Trias was around in the previous bull cycle, unfortunately, so it won't have the shiny coin effect that most projects will have this time around. But we can see that it's down about 72% from its all-time high 3 years ago. But if we look at more recently, we can see it went up to about $17, over $17, so about 40-50% down. So again, a very, very good buy price for Trias. Very, very quickly, if you aren't a fan of Qubic or Trias for whatever reason, I will provide a dark horse in the race here, which is Space Mesh, currently sitting at $2.38 with a market cap of around $84 million. So this wasn't planned, I'm just throwing this in there as an alternative, but it's a layer 1 project with a very unique proof of space-time concept. The project has been in development for years and it's only listed on tier 3, tier 4 exchanges in Bing, XT and SafeTrade. So as soon as this gets onto like a MEXC or a Gate, we can expect this price to pump up considerably. So it's down quite a bit from its recent all-time high of around $6. So it's down about 60%. So it's a great entry price. And if you check my video out on Space Mesh, you can see exactly why I'm so bullish. But yeah, just providing a little dark horse in case you're not a fan of the previous 2 projects. The final 40% of the portfolio will be allocated to small caps. These are the riskiest due to their low market caps, but I believe the ones that we've included today are fundamentally sound and very undervalued for what they are. Up first, we have Creo Engine or Creo. This is a gaming token currently sitting at under 10 cents and around $28 million in market cap. Creo is a coin I'm pretty bullish on. Gaming, just like AI, is a sector full of a lot of bullshit projects. A lot of these games are going to go to zero or just not move at all. So it's hard to individually pick a game. So you could be better off just picking a gaming ecosystem or studio or something like that. Last cycle we had Gala Games and Ultra, which did incredibly well. So for this cycle I've gone for Creo. It's a Southeast Asian gaming token and I keep saying that the Asians are the most serious of gamers. Anything coming out of this region of the world from a gaming standpoint will do very well in my opinion. We can see the max supply of Creo is 1 billion with about 300 million in circulation right now. However, there is a burn mechanism which is going to be implemented in the future and I believe they want to half this max supply. It's listed on a few good exchanges, MEXC, BitGet, Gate, none of the big ones as of yet, but there's some strong exchanges there. And if we scroll down, we can see that it is down about 50% from its all-time high again. So honestly, some of these entries that we're being provided with, if you were sidelined and you thought you missed out, this is literally a golden opportunity to get back in. If you want a slightly more risky option, you could go for an individual game, as I mentioned before, in Bad Mad Robots or Metal. Now this is almost identical in market cap to Creo at about $27.6 million. So you're probably thinking, why is this riskier? Well, it's an individual game, so if the game flops or doesn't take off, then the token is pretty much worthless. It's more likely for an individual game to fail as opposed to an entire gaming platform or studio. So I made a video on Metal when it was under a cent and it's done pretty well since then. We're sitting on about a 6, 7, 8x, so not too bad. It's also formed a lot of partnerships since that video, potentially being a big player in esports in the future. So if you see potential in this one, feel free to select this instead of Creo. It's down about 70% from its recent all-time high of 12 cents, 12.7 cents a few months back. So yep, a great buy price here, albeit a little bit more risky. In terms of market cap and price potentials, like I said, for the folks on today's video, we do want to see them all do 10x. So a Bad Mad Robots 10x would put it at just below 40 cents, giving it a market cap of $270 million. Completely doable for an individual game in the peak of a bull run, especially if it's being integrated into esports in the future. And the same applies for Creo. You know, at under 10 cents, going to around $1 would be a 10x from here, giving it a market cap of a few hundred million as well, which, you know, a gaming studio, it's got a lot of partnerships, got a lot of plans for the future. Very, very bullish on this one. It's completely doable. The final coin in today's portfolio video and making up the remaining 20% is going to be Stobox or STBU. Now this is an RWA play on which I made a video about very recently. It is currently sitting at a price of just above 14 cents, giving it a market cap of $14 million and a fully diluted market cap of $14 million as well, because they've got 98% of their 100 million supply in circulation. The tokenomics are great on this one. So Stobox offer a lot as a company in real world assets. They offer consultations around tokenization to corporate clients as well as retail, and they provide a multitude of different services. So for example, they have their own software as a service linking real world assets and tokenization. You know, they have a very experienced team as well. They've got partnerships, which I'm sure are going to only get larger in the future. So, you know, at this micro cap, almost micro cap, very, very small cap, you know, it's almost a no-brainer if you're lacking an RWA project. It's got excellent tokenomics, which I've already mentioned, and the utility of the token is great as well. I believe it's used as a subscription model in order to get a lower price for their service, and also a lot more too. So if we look at the all-time chart, I believe, yeah, this was around in the previous bull cycle, so it went up to about 40 cents, down considerably from that. But in terms of the recent all-time high, or the recent high, sorry, it went to about 26, 27 cents, again, down 40-50%. Almost a no-brainer. You know, it's a quick 2x just as soon as the market recovers. Listed on decent exchanges as well. We got Gate, we got MEXC, so nice tier 2 exchanges there. And overall, real world assets, this sector is going to go into the trillions in the future. I think they expect it to get to 1 or 10 trillion by 2030. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, if you think about that and you look at 14 million that we've got here, with crypto playing a huge part in RWA in the future, it's, like I said, almost a no-brainer. Can this 10x? Absolutely. If it gets to $1.40 or put it at only $140 million in market cap, and that's with all the tokens in circulation as well. So an excellent inclusion and an excellent small cap play to cap off our portfolio. So that is the portfolio, guys. We've got bittensor, qubic, trias, creo, and stobox. These are all fundamentally top projects, all have decent to strong communities and great tokenomics throughout. We've covered the 3 main narratives here: AI, gaming, and real world assets, which in my opinion are going to be the strongest of sectors in the next 12 to 18 months and beyond. But we've also covered some sub-narratives in terms of layer 1s and also geographically different regions of the world too. We've got Asian projects, American projects, and I'm not too sure whether Qubic is European or not, but potentially there as well. Now, all of these are down significantly from both their recent and all-time highs, so providing excellent entry points. For how long? Who knows? In terms of allocation, you can split this 20% equally in all 5, which I've done just for simplicity and more generic approach. You can also concentrate more towards these small and mid caps in case you want to, add more risk, or you can even concentrate more towards Tau for added safety. I'll leave that decision to you as it will vary from person to person. So yeah, feel free to copy this exactly, feel free to tweak it as per your liking. For more support on your portfolio, a more tailored approach, or if you have any further questions, join my Discord and ask me and the community directly. We'll be more than happy to help. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any improvements or any feedback, please leave it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for the support you've been showing me over the last few weeks and months. I really appreciate it. The channel is growing stronger and stronger by the day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.